speaker and then of course we talk. But आज इतना सारा knowledge, the personality sitting here, इतना सारा knowledge था. So I told Monadeepa कि मेरे से नहीं होगा. So what I'll do is I'll ask him to introduce himself before he starts his talk, and that is the way we can take it forward. And thank you all those people who have turned up, because I know most of the people were out traveling and all those things. So thank you to all those people who have turned out. Hashmi sir, thank you for your precious time. Hashmi sir, thank you for your precious time. I'll hand over the mic to sir and then we can take it forward from there.
Thank you very much for calling me, Tosif. Very kind of you to say such incredibly nice things. There's not much to say about me. I'm an archaeologist. I've been in archaeology for a rather long time, and I'm fortunately or unfortunately a pedigreed archaeologist in that my mother was an archaeologist before me. And archaeologists are rare enough on the ground. Second generation archaeologists are, well, almost unknown. That said, I think it's a fascinating discipline. It doesn't really put a lot of food on your table and a roof over your head, but it gives you an enormous amount of satisfaction that few other things do. It's also an incredible excuse for traveling the country, meeting new people on a regular basis, and something that I love doing is talking. And now I get invited to talk. It can't get much better than that. So it's very nice and very sweet of Vikramjit and Tausif and Monadeepa to ask me to address you all and to give me a chance. I'm a bit of a maverick even amongst archaeologists, and I'm normally politically very incorrect. So if I offend, I would like to exempt myself by apologizing in advance. I never thought I would do archaeology full time. It was a passion. I did my master's, said I wouldn't do a PhD without a UGC fellowship, knowing fully well that there were lottery tickets and I wasn't really going to get one. And I did in my first attempt. So my mother nailed me down and said, now that you have, damn well do it. When I finished my PhD, which took an enormously long amount of time, almost 9 years, switching topics in between, I figured out when I submitted my dissertation that it was finally going to be Alvida Archaeology. And I went back, kind of teary-eyed back to my hostel, got a call from Bombay asking me if I'd like to be the field director for an excavation that a group of people in Bombay were going to undertake at a site called Sanjan. I was not pleasantly surprised. I was absolutely gobsmacked. Here I was, fresh out of, submitting, not even being awarded the degree of PhD, and somebody was asking me to be the field director of an excavation. It was like asking a young MBA whether he'd like to be vice president in one of the Tata companies. I mean, at least that's how it felt to me. So it was an incredible honor and something that I wasn't going to let go. So I went down to Bombay to meet my principals. They called me on a Monday. I said, I need a few things to wrap up a few things in Pune at Deakin College, and I'll be back. We can meet on Wednesday. And we did, and they told me that they were basically looking forward to excavating the site of Sanjan because they wanted to prove the antiquity of the Parsis landing in India. And I started off by telling them that archaeology really very, very seldom is able to prove ethnicity, and that the premise was perhaps a little flawed to start off with. I wasn't really going to tell them you can't do this. I mean, not with me being field director, right? So, well, I kind of hinted to them that this might not end up being, giving them the results, achieving exactly what they wanted. And then I said, okay, let's go and, apply. And before that, let's do a little exploration work, determine exactly where we're going to excavate, where the site is, what the dimensions are, and all those preliminary things that archaeologists do. And so I turned around to them and said, so exactly where have you located the site as being ready to be excavated? And they looked at me and said, isn't there a site? And I said, what do you mean by isn't there a site? So I said, the Parsis landed at Sanjan. There's got to be a site. I said, no, it doesn't work that way. We first need to go there, find out, then we need to apply. They said, oops, we sent in the applications yesterday with your name on them. That was a moment of utter, complete and total fear. I have probably not felt so scared in my life before or after. Well, I raced down to Dalal College, got my hand on all the maps that I could, figured out where the site should preferably be, raced down there the next day. So this was about a 3-day gap, and I was incredibly lucky. So this little yellow pin, almost in the armpit of India on this map, is where the site of Sanjan is. It's about 120 or 130 kilometers due north of Bombay. So this is where it is. It's exactly across the Maharashtra border, which is also something my principals didn't know. So I ended up in possession of a file of permissions, including one asking the State Department of Maharashtra for clearance to excavate at Sanjan. And to my complete surprise, the State Department of Maharashtra did give me that permission. So, well, that's how the government works, right? So, the only thing we knew about Sanjan till that moment